like the dust churned up by a rover or a gate opening. I kicked my terminal on and asked for whereabouts on the gate crashers. It shown Wolfmeyer on Dazzle yesterday when Carson been so set on going after him, and now the whereabouts showed him on Starting Gate, which meant he probably wasn't either place. But he'd have to be crazy to open a gate this close to King's X, even if there was anything underneath here, which there wasn't. I'd already run terrains and subsurfaces, especially knowing we were on our way home. I squinted at the dust, wondering if I should ask for a verify. I could see now it was moving fast, which meant it wasn't a gate or a pony, and the dust was too low for the heli. "Looks like the rover," I said. "Maybe the new loner, what's her name? Ernestine, is as jumped for you as you are for her, and she's coming out here to meet you. You better comb your mustache." He wasn't paying any attention. He was still rummaging in his pack looking for the binocs. "I laid 'em right next to your bedroll when we were loading the ponies." "Well, I didn't see 'em," I said, watching the dust. It was a good thing it wasn't a stampede. It would have run us over while we stood there arguing about the binocs. "Maybe Boohte took 'em." "Why on hell would Boohte take 'em?" Carson bellowed. "His are a hell of a lot fancier than ours." They were, with selective scans and programmed polarizers, and Boohte had hung them around the second joint of his neck and was peering through them at the dust. I rode up next to him. "Can you see what's making the dust?" I asked. He didn't take the binocs down from his eyes. "Disturbance of land surface," he said severely. "Fine of 100. I should have known it. Boohte could have cared less about what was making the dust so long as he could get a fine out of it. "You can't fine us for the dust unless we make it," I said. "Give me the binocs." He bent his neck double, took the binocs off and handed them to me, and then hunched over his log again. "Forcible confiscation of property," he said into his log. 25. "Confiscation?" I said. "You're not going to find me with confiscating anything. I asked if I could borrow them." "Inappropriate tone and manner in speaking to an indigenous person," he said into the log. 50. I gave up and put the binocs up to my eyes. The cloud of dust looked like it was right on top of me, but no clearer. I upped the resolution and took another look. "It's the rover," I called to Carson, who'd gotten off his pony and was taking everything out of his pack. "Who's driving?" he said. "CJ?" I hit the polarizers to screen out the dust and took another look. "What'd you say this loner's name was, Carson?" "Evelyn. Did CJ bring her out with her?" "It's not CJ driving," I said. "Well, who on hell is it?" "Don't tell me one of the indiges stole the rover again." "Unfair accusation of indigenous person," Boohte said. 75. "You know how you always get mad over the indiges giving things the wrong names?" I said. "What on hell does that have to do with who's driving the rover?" Carson said. "Because it looks like the indiges aren't the only ones doing it," I said. "It looks like now Big Brother's doing it too." "Give me those binocs," he said, grabbing for him. "Forcible confiscation of property," I said, holding them away from him. "Looks like you could have taken your time this morning and not gone off in such a hurry you forgot ours." I handed the binocs back to Boohte, and just to be contrary, he handed them to Carson. But the rover was close enough now we didn't need them. It roared up in a cloud of dust, skidded to a halt right on top of a roadkill, and the driver jumped out and strode over to us without even waiting for the dust to clear. "Carson and Findriddy, I presume?" he said, grinning. Now, usually when we meet a loner, they don't have eyes for anybody but Boohte, or CJ if she's there and the loner's a male, especially if Boohte's unfolding himself off his pony the way he was now, straightening out his back joints one after the other till he looks like a big pink erector set. Then, while the loners are still picking their jaws up out of the dirt, one of the ponies keels over or else drops a pile the size of the rover. It's tough to compete with. So we usually get noticed last or else have to say something like, "Boohte's only dangerous when he senses your fear," to get their attention. But this loner didn't so much as glance at Boohte. He came straight over to me and shook hands. "How do you do?" he said, eagerly pumping my hand. "I'm Dr. Parker, the new member of your survey team. I'm Finn."